All right, I think everything's working today. Sound, mic is not muted, so I hope we're all good to go. I'm Linnell. Welcome to Paint Fumes Thursday. What day is today? Monday night. Monday night live stream where we work on art and chat. So I have this set of paintings. I've been working on these for a little while now, and Samantha, nice to see you here. Hello, hello. I have this set of 6 that I've been working on live stream primarily. So I'm continuing to try to finish these up. The idea with them is it's a combination of collage, something figurative painted in, and it's all about like being weird and awesome in your weirdness and claiming your weirdness, and that's so valuable and we're so unique and great because we're unique. But so that's what the idea is. Lots of color, lots of crazy. I have these 3 are the closest to being done. A little bit more stuff to add onto them, but I'm going to set them aside for the moment and go back to these 2, which I started painting these guys. Well, I kind of wrapped them up last week. This one I haven't actually started on the painting, but I have it drawn in for the figurative element. So maybe I'll get to that yet today. We'll see how everything else goes. But I'm going to be working on adding a little bit more collage elements, some more color, some more drawn in elements, and kind of get that stuff going and ready to move on to the next. So that's what we're doing. And I do want to mention, I normally do streams on Thursday at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. This is Central Time. But this Thursday, I have something come up that I cannot change. So I'm going to stream an hour earlier. So 9 a.m. Central Time, I will go live and probably need to wrap it up just at about the hour mark. But that'll still be a good chance to get some things done and mess around and drink lots of coffee, and probably a lot of coffee, because even though I'm always awake at that time, I'm always awake at 9, well before 9, not always in my best functioning states at that point in time. But that's okay. Just a little extra coffee is all. So I'm going to put down a couple pieces of tape on this guy to create a little kind of masked out area to start with. It feels like I'm either really, really last minute, like I think I'm ready to go, but I'm not actually ready to go, and everything kind of is chaotic, and I'm starting the stream like all frazzled and something doesn't work. It's either that or I'm ready way too early because I'm anticipating the crazy thing happening. That was me today. So yeah, I was like 20 minutes ago, I'm like, all right, I'm set. Everything's good. Okay. I got 20 minutes. Now what? So, played with the cat a little bit, who, I don't know, he's gone on his way. I think, oh no, there he is. Hi, Bubby. I think he's used to me doing this now. And now he just goes into his little spot and naps. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I'm doing great. I try to at least be, functional and try to be a little bit entertaining, more or less. I try. Yeah, he's in his little under desk spot, little cave to nap until he decides that he wants to be fed again at some point. The other exciting thing that I have for today is that I have new art supplies. And, okay, I love me some paint markers. I usually use my Poscas. Poscas are really great. They've proven themselves for me. They last a long time. They're reliable. They have good coverage, great colors, and I'm a believer. I wanted to get a set of fine tipped Posca markers. And I think they can be kind of pricey. Probably, I don't know, I guess you kind of get what we pay for with our art supplies, but I wanted to get them to work on these pieces, and I looked at the near me search online and shopping on Google thing, and the only place that had them even at a reasonable price that I'd be willing to pay had them out of stock for like a couple weeks. So okay, that's not going to work. So I went to good old Amazon, who, you know, sometimes in a pinch, they're good to have. And I found another brand that seemed to be very well reviewed, and everyone in the reviews says the company really stands behind their product. So this is what I got. It's extra fine tipped markers from Artistro, which is a brand I'm really not that familiar with. There's 42 of them, and it's all different colors. So I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't even tried any of them yet. Water-based. It says that they can work on fabric, glass, wood, stones, paper. So hopefully that should be fun to play around with. They came with some little instruction booklet for just getting them going, and then working on like porcelain or ceramic and curing it, painting rocks, that's a thing. And fabric, which that one piqued my curiosity. I might have to try doing some fabric painting maybe with some of these, or fabric drawing. I guess it's really drawing. So I might try that. It also came with a silly sticker. It says, "I am creative, what's your superpower?" And it's kind of cheesy because it's got like a photo of one of the markers as the barbell, but it's also cute. So I have furniture that I cover with stuff, and it'll go there. Stickers. So yeah, little ad thing, join our community, whatnot. Okay, anyway, so this is what they look like. They're looking a little, they probably need really good shaking. Looks like they've separated, but I do appreciate that they're clear, because then you can actually see how much paint you're working with. That's possibly pretty nice. I saw it's interesting that they have two different whites. One is like ultra white and the other one is just white. And I don't know what that means exactly, or how you tell which one is which. Because everything about them is identical, but apparently they're not. And the same with the blacks. There's one that's just black and one that's like extra black. I don't know. Again, I don't know what that means, and they look the same. So anyway, so new toys to play with. And I'm going to need some other type of container to put them in eventually, because I need to see everything. Otherwise I drop everything. Oh, I mean, the truth is I drop everything too. Yeah, opacity. That's opacity. Opacity is something I need to test as well. We'll see how well that they cover. Good call. So we're about to give them a try here. Just doing some little drawings. I was kind of thinking, in my mind I was thinking gold, but I think that's too close to the tone of the background. So maybe, yeah, too light. I want something light, I think. Maybe we'll try one of these like off-whitey, peachy colors. Give it a good shake. Okay, got my little paper palette over here, so see if we can get this guy going. Yeah, right away it starts coming. That's nice. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, that's pretty nice. I can zoom in a little bit while I'm doing this. Let me just see my screen. So hopefully you can see a little bit better what I'm doing while I'm drawing, but I'm just sort of outlining these eyes. That's pretty decent. Oh, a little bit of kind kind of smear out there, but I'm gonna say that that's pretty decent. Let's see if they're, let's see how it goes. We'll just do a couple more. Keep going with this. Coverage is good. Line is smooth. Flow is nice and even. And quite opaque with just a water-based one layer. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I'm kind of impressed. And these were, I wouldn't say they were cheap. They're cheaper than Posca's, but it's still a little bit of an investment. But for 42 of them, this was, this is great. All right, I'll keep going with some of these shapes. Just kind of make a bit of a pattern of random things. And this part, kind of fill it in a little bit. The only thing is, and it might be the material I'm drawing on, is it's like bleeding a little bit. And this is a really hard, it is a board mounted canvas, and the canvas is very, very hard. Like it is technically like a gessoed fabric, but there's no give at all. And maybe that could be part of that, I don't know. I have cat hairs in my nose. I mean, go figure. Okay. And just gonna fill in with different little sketched guys here. Trying to figure out, there's too many things everywhere. I gave myself all this space when I redid the studio, and now it's like I just have all my things out, so there is no space. It's fine. It's all good. And some little ones. So I'm just sort of screwing around here. There's no real rhyme or reason. I just wanted something to create a bit of like texture on this part of the canvas. And part of it might yet get actually covered up anyway, so. And tying in that shape with the eyes that sort of was just floating out there on its own. All right, gotta take care of the fuzzies, right? Priorities always. So there's like wonky flowers. I've got my nice realistic rendered mushrooms up above, so I'll go a little goofy and weird with these guys. Hopefully it's not bleeding under the tape given its propensity to bleed, but I guess that can be a bit of a test as well. We'll see how it does with that. Thus far, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. We'll work with a few more, try it in different applications besides just outlines, and yeah, keep testing this sucker. I've never been one to do a lot of nature stuff. Really. Flowers and things were never my desired subject matter. I was never doing a lot of, you know, still lives of bouquets of flowers or fruit. Things like that. Just never was something that appealed to me. But I understand the appeal of it. So, you know, to each their own. Okay, just one little corner left to go on this part. And one more little guy over here, I think. And these are supposed to dry pretty quickly, and it is already dried where I started. So that's nice. That's a nice touch. All right, that, not really seeing any bleeding. Oh, nice. Picked up some of my, I really did pick up some of my paint there. That's because there was a collaged element underneath it that I painted. Well then, that was unexpected, but one of them just fell behind my bookcase. I will not be getting that today. So we can, I will fix that, of course, but that's one of those things. Did not expect that to happen. This is interesting. The cap implies it's going to be like a dark gray, but it looks really light in the paint tube. Like a mid-tone gray, I'd call that. So that's not, it's not dark enough, but I'll just get some stuff laid in here. All right, I think the dark, kind of wish there was a darker color, like a few darker colors. This might be it besides the black. Let's take a look at what that is. Yeah, it's like a blue gray. Okay, where are the blacks? Is that what I dropped? No. Thought for a second that's going to be what I had dropped down behind the cabinet, which would figure. Okay. And now that feels almost too black. I mean, it is too black for what I'm doing. But yeah, maybe that would be like my biggest criticism for being so many colors. But compared to other sets of the paint markers, it's really kind of a mild criticism. Because a lot of them are just, you know, 8 to 16 colors. Okay. I can continue to fix that more properly later if I decide to, but one of the things I do need to get done for the 3 pieces that I need to do the most work on is collage, the collage text. So it's kind of going to be a matter of deciding. I have the stuff picked out. I just have to decide which thing is going on which piece. And I do technically have some text already collaged on here, but it's not like the thing that I want it to be yet. Okay. So here's what I'm working with. A lot of them need to be trimmed a little bit. How sparkling can you be? And along with that, make it happen. I have deliciously different on my own terms. And then this one is, I think it was the most awkward badass. And then works like a charm and costs next to nothing. And I may or may not keep the quotation mark. I like the graphic of it, but it's not really necessary. So now it's a matter of choosing which is going to go where. I think these for this one might work. Maybe I'll add these here. It is a very large piece, so there's the element of that as well, being able to fit it without it being a problem. So I think this, just by the nature of the space, those are going to go on that one, and these will come over here. So now I can trim them out a little bit and decide where exactly I'm going to put them down. A lot of these, the deliciously different, the how sparkling can you be, works like a charm, costs next to nothing, are from old 1950s Women's Day magazine. Women's Day or Women's World? One of those. And I got distracted going through it because I was looking for these things, and they had a little section in the front that was what to do with old sweaters that were starting to pill and not look so great. And they were like genuinely neat ideas for like restyling old sweater, like cutting off bits and putting them back together in different ways. Like, I'm gonna keep that. I want to do that. It was really good. So that was funny. But, you know, because I'm so fashion. Oh well. Just good old weirdo. So I'm just trying to make a shape out of this as much as I can like it. And this paper is kind of on the verge of being brittle. It's very thin. So it's not like completely falling apart on me or anything, but it does need to be handled a little bit carefully. So here we go. How sparkling can you be? Now make it happen. This is pretty messy. I am very bad at straight lines. Me and straight lines, we don't get along too well. So I'll do the best I can to make it neat. Neat enough to pass my test. Because I also am not a believer in perfectionism. Come on. Come on, come on. Okay. One other thing that's relatively new in my studio is I did get, as I was planning to do a new, what do you call it, easel. I got a new easel, and I think it's going to last me a really long time. The one that I had before is more like the kind of thing that you would buy now for display purposes more than actual work. It was like a tripod base, very unsteady, and it just had a tray that could go up and down a little bit, and that was it. No way to attach from the top. It was very like unsteady and wonky. And I'm thinking I'm going to break this apart. Maybe make it and happen separately. Maybe something like that. It is a possibility. Okay. I'll leave it sit like that for the moment. Now, this one's got the smallest stuff altogether. Let's see. So that will, I mean, in a way that's going to give me a lot more possibilities for where it can go. Set that to the side for the moment. And I don't want to compete with this weird little thing over here. So a possibility is to kind of like go up the side. I could definitely cut this a little bit better. And maybe take off the period, I guess. We don't really need it. Although it doesn't really matter. All right. There we go. Got a haircut. There we go. This stuff is kind of a pain. Not moving the way I expect you to. Okay, come on. More space there, I think. And then this guy. I don't want it to be again near here because it makes more sense, at least in my head, to go over by those other guys. So I think I might need to break it like I did this one. So that should be, and I think after the and. And then something like that, maybe. I don't love it yet. Okay, sit on this one for a minute. Move that to the side. This one will be a little easier, although I've done a terrible job cutting on these, so I'll try to give them a haircut too. Oh boy. Though, you know, if I really, really cared, I would probably get like a cutting board and a ruler, an X-Acto blade. But who can be bothered? I take the period off of this guy too, because yeah, don't need it. It's really tight. And that's probably because there was other stuff, other words like above and below really getting into it. But it'll work. This one. thing with going through those old magazines, you can find some great stuff, especially in the ads. But the food and all of the food in the ads is for, and it's mostly food ads, unless it's like ironing starches, laundry starches, canned foods, boxed foods. It's just like that initial insurgence of all the convenience foods. Like, we're gonna make dinner easy for you. We're gonna free up so much of your time for the housewife. You know, it's that kind of thing. And it all looks so terribly horrible. Just awful. And anything in jelly. Anything in molded gelatin. Just, I don't know. I don't understand it. And maybe I'm not being fair because I'm also not a fan to this day of spam. I tremendously don't care to have that in my life. You know, to each their own. But maybe that makes me a little prejudiced against the weird canned preserved meats. Now, I'm thinking here too to maybe separate that and stack it. I don't know. Yeah, let's go nuts. Okay. All right, let me go back to this guy. See if I can figure out what I can do that will make me happy with this. Okay, I like this here better. Wonder about making these like really stack, or maybe just creating some kind of geometric thing. It's not very straight. I already discussed myself in straight lines. This might be it. Dog managed, glad to hear. Sometimes those fuzzies, they gotta take some priority time. Maybe I need to bring this up further. What if we come up here? Come on, come on. All right, maybe line them all up here. Something along those lines, maybe. And if those are lined up, should these be? So many questions. Maybe. I think part of it is the hard corners on this piece that are throwing me off, but I can take care of that after I do get this stuff down. For now. Oh, and there is one other piece I wanted to add to the puzzle, and it probably needs to go on next. I found this in one of the magazines, the older magazines, and it's like a background made out of fishing lures, and it was a page that had recipes for fish that were all like kind of weird, but I really enjoyed the pattern, and I think that would be great for this. Couch surfing at your friend's house. I moved out of my house. Oh wow, now I need to find a small place for big thoughts. Yeah, no, getting your own place that is yours and only yours to use how you want, that's a big deal. Well, I hope that your search goes well and you find something awesome. That is the trick. All right, I'm not going to include any of the text from this. That I almost forgot about this until I glanced over to look at where my glue was and saw the paper sitting there staring at me. So if that goes over here, yeah, this could work, possibly. We're getting somewhere. Things are happening. Where did I put the little palette? I got the little tiny palette out because I like to use it for my glue, and where did I put it? That's probably what fell behind the bookshelf. Oh, man. Well, that's fine. We can just use the palette and try not to drop anything else off the back of the table. That's something far too good at doing. All right. Now to get the glue out of this thing. Come on. I've been so good about keeping it clean and leaving the top on it and using a brush instead of my hands, so it's not a miserable, messy experience. So let me get my grungy brush, glue, and we're ready to start laying it down. All right. Here goes nothing. Ah, no, 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 no. You don't go there. It's not making art if there isn't the occasional heart attack for no reason. Okay. These little bits are the most difficult to work with because they're kind of hard to control and put exactly where you want. What was that? Okay. All right, here we go again. Okay, come on. Nah. Good thing this glue is a little bit repositionable, at least for a few minutes. Okay. Oh, all right, there we go. I feel like there's still air in there. That's why I'm like tapping at it. Let's just move that out of the way. This time, using the brain, learning a lesson. right. Moving along nicely. One more. Now this is covering a little bit of her mushroom hat, but her mushroom, I mean, it's not supposed to be a hat, it's supposed to be her, but you know, it's fine. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Okay. All right, breathe. It's like doing surgery, but not at all. Okay, now this is the thing. Move these and then try to remember how I had them. Get this guy on. And I'm going to need more glue very soon, I think. Nope, not enough. It's better to put down too much than not enough because it dries clear. And basically the same texture as the paint. And when these are done, I will varnish them too, so that will kind of correct any weird issues where things are glossy and other things are matte. Which is going to happen no matter what when you're working in mixed media, but that does kind of, at least when you're working off of a canvas like this. I wouldn't do that on the pieces that I work with on watercolor paper, but that does kind of make a nice little way to tie everything together a bit. I think I remember kind of how I had these. Will be approximate. Where did you come from? Go away. Okay, here we go. Make it happen. I'm not getting any pilling or buckling of the paper, which is great because that can certainly happen very easily. Get some fresh glue down. Starts drying very quickly even on the palette here. So just a bit at a time. It's my trusty neutral pH adhesive from Lineco, which I highly recommend. You can also use gel medium too. That works great as well for gluing down all the weird bits. This is a weird shape, so I'm gonna just cover the whole area a bit. Let's see. A big one like this, it's a little more, gotta be a little more cautious with laying it down so it doesn't start buckling, kind of pulling out from the inside. And the issue with trying to push down to push out any air to prevent the buckling, as is happening here, is that I'm actually pushing the ink a little bit. So that's why I was doing a lot of padding earlier on when I was laying it down. Looks like we need to get that. Did the glue dissolve the white paint pen lines? No, I don't think so. They're still there. It doesn't seem to have had much of an effect at all. So again, another win for, what's the brand? Artistro. Nicely done on those markers. I am impressed. And a brand that I've never heard of before until getting these. So hey, you never know. Necessity is the invention of trying new things sometimes. That was definitely the case there. All right. How we doing? Flat. Yeah, looks good. Little buckle on the side there. Ugh, glue all over my hands. Okay. Okay. Well, that all dries. Last one. Is that about how I had it before? I think so. More or less. Or should it go up more? Yeah, let's do that. And one more dose of glue. And I think that'll do it for the collage stuff. And go on to adding more random stuff. With markers and whatever else seems like it will be fun to do. All right, do this quickly so I can get them placed. And work them down a little bit. I don't get nearly as much pulling of the ink on this old stuff when I kind of dab it. That seems to be a better thing to do, as long as I remember to. Or T-stroke, yeah, it's yes. It's like the name of the company is only on the one side and it's really small, which is so strange for any branding packaging ever. But yes, Artistro, Artistro, Modern Art Materials. I'd found those on Amazon. It appears that they also sell themselves through like their own website from what they included in their stuff, what everything said. So worth checking and comparing prices, I guess, if you're going to go try them. And they had, I do think that they also had like different size sets, and if you wanted the medium nibs or the regular fine or a mix, it seems like you probably have some options. Okay. Yeah. Getting things done. So while these three get these nice and dry, which does not take long. Like already most of the glue on this one is nearly like opaque, and that, or not, is turning from opaque to translucent. Sometimes I just cannot speak words. Yeah, it is pretty. I think that that's supposed to be like demonstration of what their markers can do. I just stuck my hand in the paint in the in the glue there. And then they have some examples here on this thing of what people were doing rock painting, which, sure, I mean, whatever you enjoy. And on the ordering page, they had some examples of things that were done on like ceramics and stuff, and some of it was really quite gorgeous. So they're apparently quite versatile. All right, so next I'm going to start adding some more details on these guys too. Yes, absolutely. I do that a lot. I cut up packaging materials to use as collage. I have such a huge bin of the most random stuff, and you just never know when it's going to be the right thing. Cosmetic stuff often has some nice colors and interesting fonts and stuff. Yeah, you gotta find it where you can. It's a good things to keep. But then you also walk those lines with like the whole hoarding stuff. It's like having more than... It's a fine line. But every time that I try to clean things out and get rid of stuff, there's certainly been enough times that I've regretted what I've gotten rid of, but more often than not, I don't remember what I've gotten rid of most of the time. Okay, got my very bright light yellow, and I'm going to add some lit up windows in the little city on her head. So just have some of them be bright. That's kind of fun. It is very bright, and it is going on so nicely for a bright color like that, a very light bright color, and I'm putting it over black. I gotta say, I'm a believer right here. Oh, I got a little bleed over there. Clean it up a bit. So that's the only thing that seems like something you gotta watch for, is like that little bit of potential for bleed. If you're not careful about where you're drawing your lines, I guess. I'm never good at being careful. But I guess sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm enjoying this way too much. There's nothing like experimenting with new stuff. It's kind of, as much as I'm not one for just buying for the sake of buying, but there is something to be said for like rekindling some joy of creating by having a new toy to play with when you're feeling a little bit, maybe like you're having to force the creative juices to flow a bit. Yeah, having something new to play with, that can definitely re-spark some of that fun and joy and experimentation. Oh, it's kind of close to that color. Oh yeah, if the windows look like they're glowing, then then mission accomplished. That's great. This color is actually working out even better than I'd imagined in my head when I thought I'd do this. I was thinking I would use like a light tan or something or whatever, but this color it's like very almost fluorescent, at least compared to everything else on here. I don't think any of the other colors are particularly fluorescent. Doesn't look like it, but I guess I mean I wouldn't look at this and think that it is going to be day glow either, so it'll just be some experimenting. Okay, I'm getting very like focused. Your niece had a city on her head once. Oh, I'm enthralled. Was it something that she made? That sounds like fun. One more over here. Okay. Now, there is one more thing, a few more things. I still have some more elements to draw on here, I think. I think I'm going to use these pens to finish some of the details I have on this guy. Lisa, oh no! My mind did not go there at all. Oh, your poor niece, I'm sorry. That's no fun. Definitely not fun. But that can happen. Oh, goodness. They are a little bit smearable if you want to when they're just wet. I do like to do that a little bit with some of these guys. Kind of blend some spots a little bit, but it does dry fast. All right, that went a little too far. Oh my, there's so many colors. How exciting. Like some of these are, I mean, they're close to each other, but not quite. Like the color that I used for the flowers on the other one, I think was this one. And this looks very similar, but it's just slightly more neutral. And that one's like slightly more pink. So, cool. Oh, where was my light on here? This might be getting out of hand a little bit. Okay, let's control ourselves a little bit more. So these are supposed to be like a candy necklace is the idea. That's why I'm kind of blending the color a little bit, because they're usually more like a matte sugar candy than a bright and reflective color. I'm kind of losing it here. Hold on. All right. So I kind of just want to suggest the highlight a little bit more than have it super brightly painted on. So just dabbing, lightly dabbing it away. Till I'm happy with where it is. Doesn't really work on the white one, does it? The lights didn't have nice glowing windows. Well, that's a shame. Definitely a shame. Missing out. Okay. Now, I think a light orange. Very light orange. Nice, nice. That might be lighter than I really want there, though. I guess I need more of a mid-orange. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Samantha. Have a great night and a great week, and it's good to talk to you tonight. Thank you for stopping. All right, we're gonna keep going with some of this orange on the lips. There, that looks more like the color I'm looking for. It's a little hard to control how it comes out for the occasion where I kind of want it to be just a nice fine light line. I think you kind of have to be move very quickly. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'll need a little bit more experimenting with, but all in all, I think it's safe to say that I think that the quality is very good on these, and I do think that I would give them a recommendation. Just somewhere in between there. Somewhere in between that would be ideal. That might work. That got a little messy, but you know, I'll fuss around with it some more. I will still fuss with it some more. Get it to where I want it to be. For the time being, come back to this one. I'd like a really light blue, I think. It's sort of like, I've got 3 light blues. That might be too light. I guess I just really need to hold it against the color and see. I think that this one looks like it'll be too close in tone to the green. We'll try this one. Okay. And what I'm going to do with this guy drawing in an airplane. There. Looks like an airplane, right? Can you see it even? My sister, the pilot, would probably be appalled at my airplane. That's okay. Yeah. Some clouds, maybe. Okay. Sort of works. What if we add a little helicopter? I might be getting loopy. It is entirely possible that that is exactly what's happening right now. Okay, I do still plan on adding some things down here too. Though I might go with a thicker marker, like one of the Poscas, which is a medium-sized tip. Let me think. Okay, put that to the side for now. Just keep doing little bits of things until I'm happy where we are. Spreading things out all over the place. Okay, for this guy, ooh, I like this color. I have the umbrella here. I'm gonna kind of give him an underside outline. And then I'm going to start to give him the idea. I'm sure the thing of like, oh, there's an umbrella, but it's raining under the umbrella is a thing that people have seen before. But have you seen it rain candy? That's the real question. Because that's where we're going. Okay. And they're gonna have to be small because I don't have a ton of room. It's very tiny. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically the idea. Lollipop. Does it look like a lollipop? I don't know. Hopefully in the context of all the other things, it will make sense. And we got the little peppermint candies, except it's so small. We just need more candies and wrappers more than anything else. Okay, one up here. Can kind of overlap a little bit more of the words. I'm gonna draw a bigger peppermint over here. Then maybe I'll color in the little red parts of it so it might actually look like it. And we'll have them kind of falling off the page over here. And what else? Let me try to visualize candies that aren't just normal today candies in paper wrappers. Something iconic. All those big lollipops that swirl. Let's do one of those. That kind of works. little wrapper ones definitely work better, I think. I'll just add some little small kind of dots because, I mean, you can imagine like lemon drops and, ooh, lemon drops. What are those ones that are rolled in sugar that are jelly type candies that are like flat in the bottom and rounded on top? That's kind of an old school one, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that it's be completely unrecognizable drawn at this size, but you know, that's okay. We're just doing what we want to do. And I do have a red here. See how how fine we can actually get this to be. Let's really, ooh, that's quite the drop of paint there. It's a little hard to control at that size for being very fine tipped marker. There was another one. Where was the other one? Way over here where you can't even see it. Tiny little peppermint shapes. On the red it doesn't work so much. I might actually need to go in with a white there, but yeah, that's fine. All right, I used the blue. And let me think, pink? There's not a ton of pink in that one, a little bit behind the stuff. Let's go here. Now, which one to attack next a little bit? Gumdrops! Yes! Dan can, thank you. That is exactly what I was trying to think of. Oh man. Words escape me more days than not. It makes me nuts. Okay, I'm gonna draw some clouds on this one because, you know, it's a fish. Why not? There should be clouds. Did I already get this one going? Yeah, okay. All right. We're just gonna cover up this dude's head a little bit. Very simple, childlike cloud shapes. I think I need more room. How do you know when the piece is finished? Oh, that's a really good question. It's sort of like a decision you just have to make at a point. There's not always a definite answer to that. In fact, I'd say there's almost rarely ever a definite answer to that. It kind of has to be when you're satisfied with it, when it's accomplished what you want it to accomplish. There's a lot of things that you can look at when you're trying to make that call, but Yeah, I'm really leaning into maximalism here. Like I'm just kind of letting everything go and go nuts and experiment and uh yeah. So and it's different for different mediums. I suppose every artist could give you a different answer, but I think a lot of it is you have to be willing to trust your gut when you get to that point. Um, yeah, I don't know how good of an answer that was. So apologies if that was just me meandering, but yeah, there's not really a defined answer for that. It's very much a subjective situation to try to figure out. And I don't know how true this story is, but I once heard that apparently Picasso had a piece hanging in a museum, not even a gallery, a museum. And he got kicked out of the museum because he went in and started painting on the canvas as it was hanging there in the museum. The museum owned it at that point, and he decided something wasn't done about it. So he actually went and started painting. Got kicked out by security. And I cannot find any verification for if that story is true or not. So it's probably not. But I enjoy the story. I think I was told that back in art school. It's kind of like when editing photos. Oh, sure. Or when you're writing a song, when writing a book. How do you know when to stop? It's absolutely very much the same kind of thing. And probably the more you do it, the more of a feel you have for your process and what you're looking to accomplish in theory. And sometimes it's just you're just sick enough of it too. Because I could certainly continue to fuss with things for a really long time. But there's also a point where maybe if you continue working on it, you might actually be making it worse than better. That especially holds true, I think, when I'm working with watercolor. That is a medium that does not tolerate a ton of like reworking and going back into it. The paper doesn't, the paint doesn't. Whereas when you're working with something like acrylic paint, I could always just take a gesso brush or some heavy paint, cover half of this canvas and repaint it from scratch and continue going from there. It's just unending opportunities to screw around and hopefully not make it too much worse. Not too much. Okay. So yeah, I'm liking how things are starting to happen with a lot of these. Let me think. I don't have my elephant on here, or my element. The light might just barely pick up the graphite on my drawing on here, but it's going to be a three-eyed cat peeking in from the side. That's what's going to be painted in on the side here. That's my figurative element. And I thought maybe if time allowed, I'd start working on that tonight, but probably not at this point. I like the happy, my fish lady fish, not fish lady, lady fish. Thank you. I really enjoy her. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. So, gotta have some fun with these things. As far as that's really what I'm getting out of this. Like, I want them to be weird. I want them to be over the top and fun. Really. Okay, I already used this color. I need a different color. Will this work? I think that'll work. Always looking at when I do that, I'm looking to see if the hue is too close together. Because even though like red and green are very different colors, or pink and green, if the hue, the amount of darkness to lightness in it is really close, it will be hard to see whatever is drawn on there. So I think that works. Oh yeah, that's just fine. There is always the chance of waking up the next day and hating everything you've done, but usually it's more like a better opportunity to just keep screwing around. Definitely hoping that that isn't the case. Usually it's not. And I need something light. That might be too light. Let's see what this one looks like. Testing the new markers. There's so many colors, and some of them are really close to each other. It's a very fleshy color. Nah. Maybe this one. Yeah, I'm thinking something in the yellow family for sure. This is sort of like a yellowy orangish color, but it's light. I think that might work. And for that, that's just so that I can draw in my little alien beam for the little UFO. Absolutely no reason. Too close in there. It's water soluble, so I think maybe I'll just go with just drawing the outlines, an outline on the thing. Okay, which color did I use? I think it was this one. All right, that works. It's sufficiently weird and silly. It's much brighter. It looks much brighter than the ship, so I might need to go back in and add a little, actually a little lighter tone on my little UFO. That might be good enough. Seems like it makes sense for three-eyed cat. For some reason, thank you for saying cool technique. I'm really just screwing around and seeing what happens with it, because I've never worked with these particular markers before. I know they're water soluble, so all else fails, just stick your finger in there. Okay. For some reason, with the three-headed cat that I have here, it makes me think of, and now that I put a UFO on there, Mary Beth, hello! It's good to see you. I hope you're feeling well, better. This is making me now think of the Cat from Outer Space movie. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie. It's from the 60s? Getting there. Good. Glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. If you haven't seen the cat, okay. I gotta admit, I haven't seen it probably since I was a kid. But The Cat from Outer Space is a really silly sci-fi movie. Yeah. And it wasn't a three-eyed cat, but it was a cat that could talk and fly a spaceship. So, you know. I'm definitely not going to want to paint the cat with these markers, I don't think. But I can start to lay in some color as long as I've got them out. They used, apparently, random fact, a pair of twins? Were they siblings? Abyssinian cats to play the main character of the cat in that movie. Yeah, random. And the only reason I know anything about that is because it turns out the cat that I adopted is a good part Abyssinian. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Ooh. I haven't tried this color yet. This is looking nice and maybe a little bit fluorescent. Some very random and strange old movies that I remember fondly. Another one is Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's a good movie to make your friends watch on for St. Patrick's Day weekend or something, which is already passed, but a great movie. Nice. I'm glad somebody else does. Those were fun. I need to watch it again. It's been so long. I'm not sure where that one is. I know that Darby O'Gill and the Little People is on Disney Plus. And it's got a very young Sean Connery. Like peak Sean Connery. Some good songs. Some legitimately freaky things. And special effects for that time. And it's like it's, you know, centers around Irish folklore. Leprechauns and banshees and things. The only other movie I can think of that... Oh, there's another movie that does that. It's not nearly as... It's in a very different direction. It's what is it? The Legend of... Something about the White Worm. And it's got... Is it Hugh Grant? The actor, the British actor, is that right? From mostly movies I don't watch. Bridget Jones' Diary, I think he was one of the actors in. Yeah, it was like his first role. Where he's super young, and there's some kind of... Oh man, now it's been about a year and a half since I've seen it. Like some kind of witch vampire lady who's like serving this giant white worm thing, monster. And it's again like Irish mythology type thing made into a very silly, not on purpose type of horror movie. It is a ridiculous movie. But it's sure trying. Very silly. But fun. I enjoy the weird ones. God. So many markers, I don't remember which ones I've broken in yet. And one of these is black and one of these is extra black. According to the box. How would anybody know the difference? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know, maybe I have to like put it down on paper and compare, see if one looks blacker than the other. You know what? Let's do that. See if there's any difference at all. Let's take a look. I don't think there's any difference. Granted, I drew that very small, so you probably can't see it huge, but I really don't think there's a difference. I don't know. Getting a little fuzzy bit on the end there. Mr. Watson, are you trying to kill my carpet? Where's my cat? Ugh. Once he gets bored, then he comes and visits. He slept over here for a little while. But he is awake and trolling at the moment. Oh, did you come to say hi? Here's my Abyssinian butt. Are you here to help? You good? Or to say hi? You'd be very happy. I'm painting a cat. What do you think of that? No, you can't come up here. It's a book from my childhood. It's The Cat That Went to Heaven. I think that's the right title. About an artist who's doing a painting for the church, I think. Catholic church. In like ancient... Yeah, did you say hi? No, he's just got his tail. The book, the artist is painting all of God's creatures, which the church has paid him to do. And they don't include the cat because the cat is not considered one of God's creatures. But the guy's cat sits and watches him paint every day, working on his work, and the man loves the cat so much that before he finishes it, he paints the cat in the picture. And the cat is so overwhelmed with love and joy that he dies and he goes to heaven, which is a big deal because, you know, cats were supposed to not be God's creatures, I guess. But I'm not a very religious person, but I always loved that story. I thought it was very cute. And yeah, Watson's just standing on my lap right now, trying to decide which way to go. He also loves this chain on my glasses. He thinks it's a terrific toy every now and again, too. Gotcha. You just gonna stand here? Alright. You're very cute. That's my studio cat. You can sit here, but you can't get into the painting, okay? No paws in the paint. Had this happen before. It is not okay. This is non-toxic, but still, I just would as soon not go down that path of having to wash paws. You already got some paw prints, I think it was a week ago, on my my rug that I just put down, but it is a used rug, so I don't feel bad about it. It's there for that purpose. Okay. Anyway. Where were we? Maybe I should find some oil pastels again. I got some inks. Just a few different colors. And these are acrylic inks, the ones that I have right here. So they are fine to work on top of. I don't know how alcohol inks would be. They're fairly translucent, but they'd probably just add, it'd probably be like what's going on over here. It's like hitting the multiply button in Photoshop over and over again with your colors until you get a mess. Let me take a look. I feel like I need more color on this guy, this one in particular. It's not bright enough. No, come on, behave. Yes, you can sit there. He never, ever sits on my lap. This is quite the occasion. let's get some pink again. Is this the one I want? Yes. I think I'm going to, oh, I haven't used this one yet. Come on. There's a tail in my face. You're apparently in your shedding period too, mister. I'm just getting a face full of cat fur. Come on, what's wrong with you? Let's go. There. No? Yes? Come on. Okay, I think we got it. I'm going to give this little happy lady an outline. I want to get rid of some of the square surrounding her and that text. So we're just going to create a bit of a halo and a bubble. And don't break anything, please. As if he cares. At least there's no wet paint over there this time, where he's walking. This time. This place is a hazard. So is that cat. And I'm gonna just kind of layer this line a little bit. A few times. I just want to break up that space. And then I'll probably need to bring some of these colors out into the piece as well. Otherwise, I don't want this to be the thing that attracts all the attention. And keep in mind, I do have, to some extent or another, an idea of where I want my focal point to be on these guys. So, keep it in my brain. I probably should let that color dry before I put this right next to it. It does dry pretty quick. In the meanwhile, maybe I'll give a little outline up here too, on the back of her. Looks very arbitrary at the moment. We'll see if I keep that or not. Not that arbitrary is a problem. Will these be up in my shop? Yeah, eventually. I'm definitely planning on making a set of prints out of these. And what I'm trying to figure out right now is if I'm going to do like a limited run, limited edition set, and maybe do like some hand embellishments on them. But yeah, the originals also will eventually make it onto the shop. I'm hoping to get these. I feel like I've been working on them forever. Oh my, ever and ever. Although it's been, I guess, a handful of weeks. And part of it is that I'm primarily working on these in during the live streams, the set. So I haven't really like spent time outside of streaming to like sit down and buckle down and try to get them done on my own time. So that is making it also feeling like it's taking a very long time. I imagine I must be about really maybe 15 hours in on a group of 6 paintings. So that's really not that much or not that bad. But feels like it. I'm kind of starting to get to that point where it's like I'm ready to move on to something different. And I usually do have a tendency to kind of go back and forth with what I'm working on. Work on something for a while, then move on to something else, and back and forth. And I do, in fact, have 3 other paintings that are still in process too, and some ideas for other ones. But yeah, I don't know. Some of it's the ADHD in me, and struggling with focusing. Focusing long enough to really stick and get something done, although there's a tremendous amount of good feeling when I actually do accomplish something and finish it. But yeah, I normally tend to work a lot of like I'm doing that here. One painting to the other, to the other, to the other. There's 5 of them. So there's plenty of stuff to keep me occupied. Yet there's still that part of me that's like, what's next? What's interesting? What else can I do? So that's always a struggle, I guess. Okay. I don't know if that's enough. I think I need a few more layers on that still. I'm gonna throw one neutral one in there too, so it doesn't completely just vibrate your face off the canvas when you look at it. Let's see. This may start to get out of hand if I keep going with just these outlines. But maybe just one more, because I think I can make it wide enough to kind of cover everything that I intend to cover here. Let's grab some yellow. This is really day glow yellow. I'm gonna go with a different one. Keep putting my fingers in the wet paint in my hands. Very good at that. All right, last one. It's very bright. Probably just means I need some more yellow somewhere else in this piece, which I certainly do. Oh, there's that, okay. There's that little bit of bleeding again. Probably just means I need to slow down here on that canvas board. Let me kind of fill it out here just enough to cover the last bits of paper on that side. All right, I think that does the trick. Maybe too well. That yellow is a little much, but I just probably need to bring it up into the rest of the picture a little bit so it doesn't completely compete all by itself. So there will likely be more of that sort of thing for me to do. Let me think here. Thinking takes a lot of effort and energy. All right, so it's coming. There's elements of being just a mess so far, but you gotta have faith that it will come together. Let's throw some pastel on this bad boy. I have a very limited pastel palette, but it is all that I think that I need. They don't love this material that I'm working on, but it's just enough. It's just enough tooth to create a little bit of a texture, which is all that I'm trying to do. Draw a couple circles on here too, in a couple different colors. I probably passed the point of being a little bit loopy, and we're just going where the wind takes us right now. Oh, I already used that one. Okay. One more over here. And maybe I'll do another one down here. Break that yellow line a little bit too. Oh, I hear you. What you talking about? Oh. Really? Pardon me while I speak to my cat for a moment. Is that so? Well, do tell. Okay. I think I need to walk away from this one for a while. I need to like think on this a little bit. I might actually need to go back in with acrylic paint on her to punch up the shadows and the dark tones. Because I think right now, like, the eyes are really dark. Some of the purple still reads as really dark, and she's sort of like all mids. with a little bit on the light side. So I want to create more contrast within her and have her punch out a little bit because I've made all these other things. It's so chaotic and busy. I want to really bring her out more. And there will be parts of this stuff that I might just cover out too. So that's what I'm thinking here. On this guy, I still need some things down here. On the bottom part, especially. It's coming to be in pretty good shape though. This one still needs the cat, and then once I have that, I can start figuring out what else it needs. This one. This is probably the closest to being done. I'll probably chew on that a little bit more yet too. This one's almost there. We're getting really close. And this one is almost there. There's a good chance that I will go back into, like, especially these and maybe the other ones as I work on them a little bit more and actually cover up some of the chaos areas and let them die back a little bit. It's a possibility. It's not a for sure thing. We'll see. But I'm pretty happy with where they're going. We're really getting onto something. Chaos as it appears to be, it is a thing. All right, so I think, oh my gosh, it's almost done. Been at this for 2 hours. I do want to remind anybody that's joined that my Thursday stream is going to be an hour earlier because there's something that I can't change the time on that's happening in life, and I will need to go from, instead of from 10 Central, we'll start at 9 a.m. Central. So that's going to be on Thursday stream, and then back to the regular schedule as usual after that. So yeah, that's it. That's all I needed to get off my plate here, and we've got a lot of chaos, colorful chaos going today. And I thank everybody that has joined for going on this ride and keeping me company and observing absolute madness at work, basically. All right. I wish everybody a wonderful night and can't thank you enough. Love you all. Goodbye.